Yeah, good afternoon all. So welcome to the webinar on virtual internship. So this webinar to make you understand what exactly is the virtual internship means. Hope my voice is clear. I request participants to put it in the chat box if my voice is clear. I request participants to put in the chat box if my voice is clear. Thank you. Thanks for your response. So we'll start the session in another 1 minute. I'm just waiting few more participants to join. So this program is basically to clarify on what exactly is the virtual internship means. Virtual or the online internship, what we call. This is not a new term. This has been happening from many years, the virtual internship. But still people are asking for the what now on virtual internship. So that is why we have doing this webinar on virtual internship. So we'll start exactly at 2:32. I'm waiting for a few more participants to join. And I request all the participants to be on the mute. If you unmute, there will be a lot of disturbance and it will disturb complete session. So I request participants to be on the mute all the time. So you will be given a chance to ask questions. So at that time, you can definitely unmute yourself and you can ask further questions. And I request participants not to request for the Notion option. So it will not be approved. So we have close to about 320 participants joining for this session. Now there is about 210 participants are joined now. So I'm waiting. We'll wait for another 30 seconds. So let's start the session. So I will start with the introduction about ApplyVolt and Agimus. Let me just clarify the ApplyVolt and Agimus, both are sister concern companies working to provide a solutions across India. The Agimus is present in Bangalore and ApplyVolt is present in Hyderabad and Vijayawada. So the founders of the companies like Agimus Technologies, founded by Mr. Parmeshwar Naik, that is myself, and Ramesh Naidu is the founder of ApplyVolt. So we both have about 15 to 20 years of experience in industries in the various domains. And when we talk about ApplyVolt and Agimus, so we have a technology company formed by researchers in the areas of VLSI, embedded, IoT, radio frequency, PCB machines, and then artificial intelligence and machine learning, and the trainings also. And what do we offer? So we offer a wide range of solutions in terms of electronics and mechanical products, solutions and services in the area of VLSI, IoT, and antenna technology, artificial intelligence, machine learning, defense, as well as industry and academics. Our major focus is on all the three industries and our technology partners. So we have signed up a MOU or agreement to set up a solutions. Our first partner is NVIDIA. So we have a MOU with NVIDIA to set up their solutions across industry, academics, and defense. And we have a tie-up with Xilinx. And we do have a tie-up with ANSYS, so who is actually our CAE partner. Also, we have a tie-up with speed boats, control system. And this is our PCB prototyping machine, which is manufactured in India. And we have a LoRa technology for our Internet of Things. LoRaWAN is basically your wide area network IoT applications. Vigilant, once again, the partner for FPGA boards, who provides basically a low-cost FPGA for the academics and industries, and the Mentor Graphics, the EDA tool. So these are all our technology partners, so whom we have signed up, and we provide these solutions to the academics, industry, as well as defense. And I was talking about the solutions what we provide to the academics. So we set up these many labs. Don't want to waste the time on this. We set up VLSS Center of Excellence, NVIDIA and IoT labs, and FPGA solutions and all those things. So our technical expert, Agimus and Applyvolt, are mainly known for support and the technical experts. So that we have a Dr. Pramod Kumar, so who has about 13 years of experience in the field of artificial intelligence, machine learning, deep learning, and he is a very good expert in MATLAB as well as in Python. So he is going to handle the complete your internship program, whatever you are talking about. And then we have Mr. Nagaraju, so who carries about a 7+ years of experience in the field of machine learning using FPGA. And we have Dr. Srinivas, so with 5 years of experience in the field of FPGA and SOC, and Mr. Pradeep with the 4 years of experience in the field of Verilog and System Verilog. And let's come to the virtual internship. So what do you mean by virtual internship? People are talking about what is virtual internship and all these things. Hope my voice is clear. Ramesh?
Yeah, Param, it's good enough. You can go ahead.
Yeah. So virtual internship. So what do you mean by virtual internship? There is a brief about this virtual internship. See, the virtual internship, it is as good as you're working, but you will not be physically present at the job location. That is what is the virtual internship means. Like why virtual? So many people are asking why virtual internship, the online internship. See, we normally used to conduct the internship programs at our office, but because of COVID COVID situations, people are not able to travel from one place to other place, and there's a social distance has to be maintained and all those things. So that is why we have come up with these options. Virtual internship. So we will the students or the faculties will gain the knowledge and the skills, and it is a very good opportunity to explore what exactly happening in industry. So without present in industry, and it gives a experience to the global technologies. And working from home reduces stress and increases the happiness and productivity. So that is what is the major point that I wanted to tell, because many of nowadays people are working from home. The productivity has been increased in terms of products and all those things. The advantages of the virtual internship, the cost. The first thing is cost, because see, whenever you come to office, involved in that, so the cost will definitely reduce and the transportation will be reduced. With this, the traffic will come down and the building confidence. There are many will have their confidence low. By this virtual internship, they can definitely have a good communication with the team, and they can build their confidence in terms of communication uh, and in terms of team building and in terms of communicating properly with the managers or whoever. So this is about what exactly is the virtual internship about. And few of our projects, what we are working on. This is the one product which we have worked for COVID-19. This complete robot is not developed from our end, but there are some parts like we have helped for identification of the person so who is coming in. And this is the one one robot. I'll just play one small video. They will understand what exactly this robot will do.
Param, it's not visible. Just check it out.
Just a second. Robot actually identifies if the person is not wearing a mask. It will ask the person to wear the mask. After that, it will scan for the temperature, the body temperature of the person. If you can visit. So once he wears the mask and comes, so the robot says welcome. After that, it will scan for the body temperature. So it actually scans for the body temperature. Then it allows the person to get inside. Means open the door automatically. It has a controlling of the door, so it will open the door once the person is completely scanned. So that is why it is called as COVID-19 screening robot. Screening robot. So where will it completely scans your body temperature, then mask detection. It can be used for multiple applications for the staff attendance, face detection, and then it has a provision to spray the sanitizer also. It can be used for your door control and all those things. So this is the one robot we have worked for face recognition, also the temperature. And the next project we have is IoT based social distance maintaining detector. So wherein in the image one and image two, you can see the differences. In the image one, all the people are standing with the proper social distance. But in the image two, you see in between. So it identifies that person and gives a notice that this person is not maintaining the social distance. And there will be a speaker, speak. It will give a notification, please maintain the social distance. So with that, the people will maintain the social distance. So this is what is the one product has been developed and it has been implemented in many of the schools, colleges, and in bus stops and hospitals and in many of the places. This is a one more project what we have implemented real time. That is Cultivate. Cultivate is the project where we actually put the sensor in the soil in the fields. So it basically identifies the water content in the soil. If the water content is low, it flows the water automatically without any human interference. And also the second thing is LoRa based animal tracking system. We have hello. Yeah. This LoRa based animal tracking system, wherein we have implemented this in Bandipur and Nagapore forest, wherein to track the animal movement. So like basically it has been done for the elephant tracking as of now. So it has been physically implemented in Bandipur and Nagapore forest. And we have one more product which has been developed like it's actually immersive e-learning platform for the engineering education, wherein this will understand the concepts with the visualization. So basically, we call it as a Byju's for engineering. You might be knowing about Byju's, like they have developed a product for students, lower primary and higher primary schools. But this product we have developed for the engineering students to learn the concepts of engineering and all those things. I'll just show you one video, small video, where you will understand what exactly it is there in that video. So this is basically a 3D visualization where you will learn most of the engineering concepts. So I just wanted to tell that why this product was developed, because when I was studying my engineering, I was facing a very difficulty in understanding the concepts. So with my team, we have developed this complete platform wherein the engineering students can understand the concepts by by the visualization. So that is why this product has been developed, and there is a separate platform for the faculties as well as the students. So it can be taken in that also. These are a few of our customers. So wherein we have supplied most of our solutions in terms of complete India. And these are our internship and training programs, what we have done at our offices. And these are our feedbacks, because so this is the feedback what we have received for our online training programs. So these are the recent feedbacks. And this is it from my end. So now I'll hand over it to Pramod. So he will demonstration on few of the topics. Pramod,
I'm there.
yeah. So now,
He is the host.
yeah, yeah. Now, Dr. Pramod will tell you exactly how exactly the internship agenda and all those things will be covered our 45 days internship agenda. Yeah, Pramod, go ahead. Yeah.
My voice is audible to everyone. So let me go ahead with our session today. Uh, I just don't want to keep the session as like what we'll be covering, how exactly we'll be covering the virtual internship or focus only on the agenda part of during the internship. We have live demos which we would be covering in. And going further with that, like how exactly artificial intelligence and machine learning would influence in terms of job market also. So because whenever I just see the list of participants here and the list of registrations, most of the students are present here. So if you're taking this particular course or if you have at least the basic idea of if you are aware of those concepts, which which are the areas as you can apply for the job and which are the different job roles which you can take in terms of AI and ML would also be covered. So stay tuned. So that's what I have it for my session, not only with certain highlights today. So to go ahead with the webinar, we'll be introducing artificial intelligence. I'd also talk about the concepts, which are your latest concepts in terms of big data, IoT, data analysis, how they are related. We'd also focus on concepts associated to something called as machine learning. We'll take up some random code in MATLAB or Python and then run that and see what kind of different projects we will be covering in, and those also would be demonstrated with certain set of explanation how we build that particular project. Followed by that, we would be also looking into certain deep learning examples. So a combination of all this would give me the insight associated to visualization and training process. Going further, what we would be doing is we'd also be covering up the concepts associated in terms of transfer learning. So, what is meant by transfer learning and how exactly you can use different devices which you can use in your curriculum. So, as far as agenda is concerned, so as from the point of our internship, we not only focus on MATLAB. So, initially, uh, in the first half of our module, that is almost around 15 to 18 days, we'll be focusing only on MATLAB for artificial intelligence development. And we will be studying about basics, how exactly you'll be able to work with MATLAB and the concepts associated to it. We'd also focus on how exactly machine learning algorithms can be built in that different machine learning algorithms will be applying it. And let me tell you, we have already run 3 batches of AI machine learning algorithm batches, and all these content in terms of how exactly your KNN, which is a type of machine learning algorithm, and what is the math behind it, everything would be covered during that particular flow. Followed by that, we'd also focus on kinds of machine learning algorithm for data science, where we'll be focusing on what is called as clustering, k-means, and hierarchy. So we'll be focusing on unsupervised machine learning also. Most of the trainings they don't cover these parts, but we also have that in our module. Followed by that, there are different pre-processing steps which would be carried out parallelly here. Like if there is a data missing in, or say if there is an outlier, so how exactly you are going to deal with those concepts. So whatever terms which I'm mentioning right now would sound foreign, but at least by today's session would give you an idea what is meant by those terms. Followed by that, we'd also focus on AlexNet, GoogleNet, and ResNet, building these few of the projects using those modules. And let me tell you, whenever we are covering all these concepts, it's not easy to cover up without certain examples on it. So whatever projects we mention in, so those are added up here. Followed by that, we will be focusing on Python also in terms of different and statistical learning. Scikit-learn also a part of that would be covered in. And predictive modeling, we have certain cases which you have created and that would be demonstrated. Followed by that, in terms of artificial intelligence, we have different platforms like Raspberry Pi, NVIDIA, and Pay that would be covered in terms of projects. So these are few of the projects. In terms of minor projects, we have image classification, lung disease, or it might be image segmentation. So these would be covered in. Followed by that, there are certain major projects working in terms of traffic surveillance, EPL match predictions, or it might be voice analysis, and so on. So our focus is not only to develop these projects, how exactly you will be able to deploy on hardwares like Raspberry Pi, NVIDIA Jetson Nano, or the different platforms which I just mentioned. So that would be covered in this particular 45 days. So that's in terms of the what is called as your internship. But let's come back to whatever we just focused on. The your webinar for today would be dealing with AI. So this is my details. So I am Dr. Pramod Kumar Naik. I'm having over 15 years of experience. Currently, I'm working with Agimus Technologies, and that's my area of expertise. Followed by that, we would be going into today's session. Okay. So as we all know, like today's session, our focus is on artificial intelligence, which is an important segment and it is widely used in our daily life of 2025, and it's having a huge implications in terms of industrial transportation, logistics, healthcare, and customer service. The main objective of this webinar is to transfer the knowledge graduates are there, anyways professors would have been known about it, but those who are new to AI, I'll just shed light on that particular scenario. When you look into this particular diagram here on your right, you can see there is deep learning, machine learning, and artificial intelligence. So you might have heard about Venn diagram, right? So whenever you start up with artificial intelligence, we'll be also talking about having data which is very large, okay, which forms your big data. Once I extract that particular data, I apply machine learning algorithms on it. Getting it? So once I apply learning algorithm, okay, so what would happen is it is, say, if I'm taking classification, so I'm taking an example of trivago.com. You are traveling to certain location, it compares different websites and tells you which is the cheapest. So there is an algorithm which is running which at the cloud, which is your machine learning algorithm. Once that has been done, in terms of machine learning algorithm, you have to have your data or your features should be extracted, or your labeled data should be fed in into those machine learning algorithms to work precisely. Okay, so what are these terms? We'll cover that one by one. Followed by that, we as deep learning, and in deep learning, it might be using what is called as AlexNet, ResNet. It can be used for in terms of speech, image, or image recognition or different operations. These algorithms, if you take it further, can be deployed on hardwares. Like the hardware can be your Raspberry Pi, BeagleBone Black, or it might be in terms of AI. Okay, so as far as whatever projects, so let me, I'll take another 1.5 hours. So you can just count the number of projects which would be demonstrated within this 2 hours. Okay. And then you can decide on what kind of projects would be covered on when we are going into what is called as a workshop. Okay. So as far as AI is concerned, it's growing across different, say, industries. It might be in terms of defense, in terms of communication, voice assistance, healthcare, or it might be consumer electronics, or it might be in terms of automotive or industrial automation. So what we have is like we have companies working in these four different tiles, and as a fresher or as a doctorate holder, how exactly if you have the skill set associated to these areas, the current openings also we will be covering it, and why these projects would be important is also our focus. Okay, so as far as the future of artificial intelligence is concerned, these are few of the areas where most of the people are working in. It is in terms of Siri, Google Assist, or it might be Microsoft's Cortana, or it might be Amazon Echo. Okay, so these areas, if you look into, it's basically the virtual assistants which can say maintain your calendar. It might be your schedules, everything they do it. Okay, so what's the algorithm which is running behind that and how these are built? That's one of the area which you have to think on, especially when you're attending sessions like this. And once you finish the sessions, we'll give you a rough idea how exactly these models were developed. Followed by that, you see a lot of automotive sectors also using artificial intelligence in terms of Tesla, Autopilot, Google Wagon, or Ford Argo AI. You might have also seen AI has been used in gaming, where Google DeepMind, which was acquired by Google, and there is a chess called as AlphaGo, okay, which is one of the toughest game. And let me tell you, machines had defeated. I'm repeating it. Machines had defeated the Grandmaster One. Okay, so this is with respect to what is called as in terms of artificial intelligence is classified artificial narrow intelligence, artificial general intelligence, and artificial super intelligence. So let us understand stage wise what are these. As far as artificial narrow intelligence is concerned, So in the year 2015, okay, they came up with artificial narrow intelligence, which is widely used in currently self-driving cars or automatic parking system or whatever Alexa, which you generally see in, is being developed during those terms. As far as artificial general intelligence is concerned, it's somewhere in the year 2020, and you have artificial general intelligence where you can see machines are overtaking what is called as humans, and they'll be having capability of something called as doing reasoning, okay, and taking decisions by themselves. So that's where is the synergy of artificial general intelligence. The next term in the line is artificial super intelligence. Will be super agents coming into picture where machines would surpass human beings. So currently we are here, that is in artificial general intelligence, or in between the narrow intelligence and general intelligence. Okay. As far as classification is concerned, we just covered that. As far as the components of data science is concerned, so we all know that there are certain set of experts who are domain expertise, okay, and there are certain set of technologies which are out there, and whenever you combine these expertise, okay, so I am an electrical engineer, and if I want to analyze the or predict what is called as what is the power consumption of certain bit, I would be applying predictive analysis, which is a part of AI, and I would be able to get the precise result. So, as a data scientist, it would be based on your expertise, and there are certain set of technology which is out there. A combination of your expertise area, you might be from mechanical, CSE, electronics, okay, based on your expertise you are using current technology and creating a scientific, analyzing the data, exploring it, visualizing it, and based on that you give business and predictions out of it. Okay, so that's where your data science comes into picture. Going to this, where data science has been used. So there are various sectors where you can see social networking platforms, search engines, healthcare, finance, public sector. So based on the data which has been acquired, they create data products, or it might be digital services or information driven applications. Okay, so you mentioned the area you would be able to use what is called as data science. As far as data science is, if you look into this particular diagram here, say I'm having a watch, okay, which is a device which is having a sensors, like we have accelerometer sensor, biometric sensors, which collects my real-time data. There is a gateway through which I'll be transferring the real-time data into the enterprise. Followed by that, I data, and I'll be able to visualize the corresponding data on my phone, okay, and then based on which I can take the corresponding decisions. So this is one of the synergy where you can see data science, machine learning, AI is been working together, and you'll be able to. As far as the role of a data scientist is concerned, as a data scientist, there are different flow. So let us understand one by one how exactly a data scientist would work. So as far as a data scientist is concerned, he should be having lot amount of data, and from the data he has to extract the precise or high dominant feature based data, and there are different methods of acquiring. So to acquire it, as a data scientist, he should ask the right question, which has been projected here. Okay, as a data scientist, he should mention or ask the right question. Once he asks the right question, he can extract data from a server, from an Excel sheet, which has been downloaded based on my data set. It might be from a real-time sensor, or it can be from an, say, data acquisition card, or it can be from web scraping. Once I acquire that specific data, I will be performing what is called as data wrangling. So whatever data is being acquired in, it would be having lot amount of, say, errors, or say it might be having certain missing data. So I have to clear that particular data, or I have to fix that particular data, okay, which would help me once I have created a learning algorithm whatever data I have. If I'm having a erroneous data, it would be ideal that it would, whatever model I create out of it would give me an erroneous algorithm, or it would give me an erroneous results out of it. So in order to do that, I perform different data wrangling methods and apply different statistical and machine learning algorithms out of it. And once I apply different statistical and machine learning algorithms, I can visualize that data and create a data report. Say, for example, I'm working on something called as data in terms of share market. That's your BSC or NSE sunset values I'm working with. And based on my machine learning algorithm, I should be able to predict whether my algorithm is going to give me precise results, whether I have to purchase a specific share from Google or Yahoo. So it should be able to predict what would be the value of that particular share, and based on that I'll be creating a data report, and this data report would be given to me by my machine learning algorithm. If I'm trying to create products, so you can see there are a lot of companies where they are working on computer vision, or it might be in terms of business analytics. Okay, you can start up with your own hub where you are just going on creating what is called as these three models, and you'll be able to start up with your own terms of companies approaching you and asking you to develop real-time projects. Okay, so that's the synergy of a data scientist, and that's the reason you see a lot of people are taking what is called as freelancer jobs, where you can learn lump sum in terms of the role of a scientist. Okay, so let me just clear everything here. So as far as data scientist is concerned, currently you can see many I mean websites are pushing up these articles. One article which I want everyone to go through is Andrew Dean. He had published an article on 27th September 2009, and which is basically how data scientist will be one of the most promising career in 2020. There he also mentions about how exactly the interview phase would be there. All those details are out there. Please have a check on it. It will give you an brief idea. As far as demand is concerned, like there is an article which I have projected here. So birth of data science generation, which is by Forbes website. So you can just go there and you can see that it was published in October 2019, and it has a lot of insights associated to what are the skills which you require in and which are the job sites which you can go and check out for the role of a data scientist. As far as data analytics is concerned, if you look into this particular diagram here, say I'll be having lot amount of data. As far as a data scientist is concerned, I should be able to describe, diagnose, predict, and prescribe. Imagine you're feeling sick and you go to a doctor. What does the doctor do? The doctor asks you like what has happened, right? So you are doing what? Describing it. Okay, so you say I have fever, I have headache, right? So directly will he tell you to go for a blood check? No, right? Then he'll diagnose you, and once he diagnoses, he finds that okay, your fever is very high and you're having shivering. So what he'll say, okay, from how many days you have fever, right? So he'll ask why did it happen? That's your diagnostic. Based on that, he will do predictions. So the same flow is applied here also. He will suggest you to go with certain what is called as analysis, where he may ask you to go for a blood check or blood checkup. And once you have done with the blood checkup, you have the reports with you, you come back to the doctor and you would be prescribing it. So when you look into this particular diagram also, that is in terms of data analytics, in terms of analytics, you will be describing, diagnosing, predicting, and prescribing on whatever data you have based on your human input. Once you have performed this, you would be performing a decision or an action based on whatever analytics you have created. As the flow in terms of what is called as data analytics is concerned, okay, in terms of MATLAB, because I'll be covering both the flow where we have MATLAB and Python coming into picture. So in MATLAB, there are a lot of toolboxes, somewhere around 96 plus toolboxes currently. Okay, and they have toolboxes in MATLAB and Simulink product portfolio. So you can just go to MATLAB and then say product. You'll be able to land in into a page called as product portfolio where you can see the list of products. So let's not go into the product portfolio. Our focus was to access and explore the data. So MATLAB supports even data which is very large. We call it as big data. And once you extract that particular data from a database, it might be from sensors, okay, where you'll be accessing the data on real. Okay, once you have accessed that particular data, okay, which would be very messy, which will be having lot of noise. Okay, it might be if I'm talking about sensors, there will be noise parameter in it. If I'm talking about images, there will be noise in it. If I'm talking about sensor data from an electrical parameter, there will be harmonics in it. So as a data scientist, you would be performing different pre-processing steps on your data, and once it is created or you have reduced into a transform, you will be able to extract that particular feature from whatever data you are dealing with it. So once you have created that particular feature out of it, you will be able to create a machine learning model and optimize it, and also validate the model where you will be doing what is called as development and predicting. And once you are satisfied with the validation results of your training and your testing, or with the new loaded data set, you would be integrating it with different systems, where our systems is GPUs and TPU as well as FPGAs. So where whatever files it might be in terms of image, clusters, you will be able to deploy the code and then run the applications on real. So when you look into MATLAB, it has a full-fledged flow starting from accessing the data, pre-processing the data, predicting the models like whatever machine learning or AI models are there, you create that here. And once that has been done, you generate the code and then deploy on hardware of your choice. Like it might be an FPGA, an Arduino board from say Arduino devices, or it might be an SMD microcontroller. Okay, so all those kind of applications on real time can be created when it comes to development of algorithms in the same thing. When you look into Python also, it is possible. So Python basically only issue what I generally face in is, since it's free, you should be able to fix, or if I just want to say is like in MATLAB there are different toolboxes, right? Similarly in MATLAB also there are different say add-ons which like to acquire and work with data. Python is more than enough. Once you want to wrangle the data, that means whatever different data pre-processing steps you want to perform in, you would be going for pandas, which is a library which has to be added up to Python or your anaconda. And then there is to visualize the graphs, you'll be having something called as matplotlib, where you'll be exploring it, and that particular library also has to be added up to your existing what is called as Python. Followed by that, you have something called as scikit-learn. Okay, so there are commands which you have to type in and install scikit-learn and numpy on whatever platform you're using in. And then for visualization, we have Open and sci-fi. So any scientific visualizations you want to do in, okay, so you would be able to visualize it. So this is the flow where Python deals with each data analytics efficiently, and each library, whenever you are installing library, you have to check the prerequisite of the library, and then you would be able to deploy the algorithm. So what I generally do is, instead of installing what is called as Python, we have already created a cloud which will be given an access when the training starts in, where you'll be able to work with the whatever algorithm is out there, which will be free of cost. You have to have just an Gmail account, and you will be able to work on that particular cloud setup, and you'll be able to work on your data analytics platform called as Google Colab. Okay, so go further with it. I hope everyone remember this movie, right? Judgment Day. Okay, so we have seen this AI scenario in terms of machines, where which will change the world, where whenever they see certain vehicles, it was getting identified, like there was a scanning level which was to happen. And I just wanted to play that video, but it's okay with the images only. Let's work out with that. So this is where your computer vision and AI met together, and currently we can see devices which are being developed. So we're able to identify algorithms, and those algorithms are objects like YOLO algorithm, which will be widely used to identify people around pedestrians, vehicles, traffic signals, and so on, and where you will be able to build real-time projects like this. And let me tell you, you will be able to do these kind of algorithms also. As classification is concerned, you can see that there is a robo where it is trying to classify chalks of blue color and putting in the ball of blue. Chalk of green is being picked up and put in the ball of green, and chalk of red is being picked up and putting in the ball of red. So such kind of real-time applications you would be able to build in, where you as a student need not scratch your head and focus on what kind of models you want to build in, rather than writing the code from scratch. Okay, so we have libraries which are out there which can be used in, where you can use those libraries and build these applications in no time. Okay, so as far as Internet of Things are concerned, let me just switch to my window here in terms of MATLAB. Since we have shown you different kinds of demos now, we'll be showing you a few of the demos also here. So what I have here is, I'll be reading a business card, and from that I want to just extract the what is called as the characters out of it and display that particular image. So let me just everything here, and once I've cleared that, you can see the number of codes is somewhere around 1 2 3 4 5 6 lines of code I'm using in MATLAB. And when I come and run this particular algorithm here, you can see that this is a card, visiting card, okay, where there is MathWorks, which has been written, and you can see MathWorks. Even if you just focus here, is at R, which is the registration part. So you can see that at R, which is a registered logo, and you can see there is at R, and there are certain dots, commas also which have been identified and then displayed. Okay, so such kind of project, if I talk about one project, if you are able to load lot of images like this, the same code can be run in, and you can put a for loop or a folder where you can identify what is called as text from an image. Going further with this, I want to identify what is called as an image from whatever video I have in. Okay, so this is the location where there is a video. You can see I'm reading a video called as vision face.avi. Okay, so I'm reading that particular image, I mean that video, and trying to identify the face from that. Okay, so I'm running the algorithm now. You can see that from that video, okay, you are able to create a bounding box where you are able to identify the face of a person. As far as our project list which I just showed you, whatever faces are there, we'll be counting example, there is a conference going on and you want to count the number of, say, participants, and you want to create an automatic system or count the number of participants, and you want to identify the lucky winner, and machine learning has to do it, and you can mention, say, the person with this particular image or this particular number, where the counting algorithm, where it has counted the 50th face, whoever it has identified, make them as lucky winner and goodie to that particular person, right? So if you're creating an algorithm like this, okay, and then such kind of algorithms can be created in, and that data can be written into the cloud, okay, where a person sitting remotely can identify, yeah, these number of participants have been present physically for this particular conference. And let me tell you, we will be creating that in our what is called as virtual internship. We'll be writing codes like this, and then we'll be demonstrating it to you. As far as called as identification of faces are concerned, see here, I'm using a system object called as vision cascade object detector. Okay, so we have already pre-written this particular programs. Okay, and during our sessions we will be typing this and writing it. As far as vision JPG image is concerned, which is an inbuilt image, I'll read that image. I'll be detecting what is called as faces. So you can see here, we have written that in terms of a live script. And when I run that particular program, you can see the faces of those participants are being displayed in real time. So if you have your own image, save that particular image and run the same set of code. Okay, only thing is you rename that particular image with your file. Okay, it would be able to identify the face on real time. Okay, so like this you can own applications in terms of recognition of objects, face detecting upper body, or so on. So upper body is concerned, let me just run this. So you can see that MATLAB is taking its time, and now we have, previously we had used the same image where we were trying to detect face. You can detect eyes, nose, or it might be mouth, or so on. It depends upon your region of interest, where writing these numbers of code and where I'll be able to detect by applying a bounding box of rectangular with the color combination of my choice. Okay, so this is with respect to a few of the projects. So whenever I said project list, the list of project goes on increasing, but few we have mentioned. So that would be with add-on. There would be few more sessions where we will be talking about projects which are out there. So this also brings us to the concept of Internet of Things. As of things are concerned, currently you see a lot of devices which are being connected to net, and these are termed as Internet of Things. The popular story is like whenever you are using your mobile phone and you are mentioning the locations, you travel from one location to another location, you enter the source and the destination, it will give you the path in terms of blue color, where you see that this is the location and this will be the time duration which you will be taking to reach your destination. So if you're having data in this particular format, okay, where you are accessing the real-time data, and also it would be the same data of the mobile phones which you are using in, and the people who are carrying mobile phones and traveling in this particular location. Recently in Germany, there was one person who did not wanted people to travel in front of his road. What he did was he had purchased a number of GPS transmitters with GPS SIMs on it, and they are placed on that particular set of locations. So whenever you open a Google map, it used to, even though the road was vacant, it was showing in red color, okay, where you can see that your own data is generally used by Google, and it will tell, I mean, you are paying for the same data to extract what is called as the. As As far as Internet of Things are concerned, you'll be having a lot of nodes, and then there will be a lot of gateways. Through the sensor nodes, you'll be extracting real-time data and capturing that data and putting it in the cloud. And as a data scientist, you'll be exploring it, building different machine learning algorithms on the data based on your requirement. So as data is being concerned in, you can see here, we can take devices like Raspberry Pi, okay? Then instead of writing certain set of program, so instead of writing it in Python, if you're not comfortable in writing it with Python, you can take up the algorithm and develop it in Simulink, and then you can use the coder product, okay, and then deploy the algorithm on these platforms, like it might be Raspberry Pi, FPGA, Arduino boards, and so on, and then at the same time write the data into the cloud using the command called as think, speak, read, or extract that data or write the data using think speak or think speak read and write, where you will be mentioning the API numbers. You can also analyze that using the historical analysis and deploy the algorithm of your choice. Okay, so before going into the machine learning, let me just again come back to MATLAB. Okay, so I have one folder where what we would be doing in here is we would be having an program written, okay, and in the program there is a cloud called as okay. So everyone, I mean, since the time constraint, I'll not be able to show you everything, but you can just go to Google and type the name called as ThinkSpeak, and once you have typed that, it will take you to one portal or a web page which is a cloud, from where there are different public and private what is called as data. So what I'm trying to do here is I am trying to capture the real-time data from US, okay, that's Boston Natick office, and to capture that I'd be requiring the channel ID and the key, and I want to check different parameters in terms of temperature, humidity, pressure. What does this mean is the where there is an LoRa based IoT kit where they have connected different sensors. From those sensors, I am writing a code to extract the real-time data in Bangalore and check what is the temperature, what is the sound, and display that in terms of a graph. You should be sure that there is internet available in your laptop also, where you are trying to extract the different features. So you can see there are features associated in terms of what is called as humidity, temperature, and pressure. Let me just show the command window here. You can see there are timestamps, analog temperature in terms of analog, light, humidity, heat index, pressure, altitude. Okay, so like that you are capturing the real-time data. Okay, and once you have captured that particular data, which is the Boston data, you are also visualizing that in terms of what is called as graphs. Let me just show you those graphs also. Let me just minimize this. You can see here you have captured the analog temperature, sound. You can see here the temperature was somewhere around 26 degrees centigrade, and in the afternoon, that is from 12 to 1, the temperature drastically reduced in. Okay, then again after 1 o'clock the temperature started increasing from 20 to 24 degrees centigrade, and then again it decreased. So like that you would be able to capture the real-time temperature, sound, heat index, humidity, pressure, right? So you can just take a normal Arduino board or an ESP8266, place that particular data, and once you have that particular data, you would be able to capture the real-time data. As far as machine learning is concerned, you'd be using data, or it might be data associated in image classification or recognition, where your machines should be able to identify that it's a mug, hat, or a coat. So as a designer, how exactly you will be able to do that is an strategy where machine learning uses data to produce a program to perform a task. In machine learning, basically, just remember one method is where you write a handwritten code, where you have, when you load that particular or pass the image through those handwritten code, it has to classify. But the question is, will it be able to classify? Okay, So feature extraction methods use in, and then if there is a image with those features only, then you will be able to classify it, but certain times you will not be able to get the precise result. To reduce this particular, we have the concept of where machine learning in combination of what is called as computer vision, a combination of machine learning and computer vision can be used in, where you will be using different machine learning algorithms like KNN, SVM. Okay, so it's basically a permutation and combination method. Okay, and based on which your algorithm would be able to classify that it is a boat, mug, or a. Machine learning uses what? It uses data. So data here is image, and produces what? You're producing a program, okay, to perform what? To perform a task. The task here is for image category recognition. Okay, so whichever image belongs to a specific category, it has to get identified or recognized. So this is the general traditional approach and machine learning. So in machine learning, basically there are two different flows. One is called as supervised learning. So whenever you are performing what is called as, or there are algorithm with labeled data. What does that mean is, whenever I wanted the image here, I wanted the image to get classified into three different types. I have the input as well as I have both the output. Whatever images are there are your labeled images. Okay, so whenever the images are labeled, okay, and have the output also, I call that as supervised learning. If there is something called as data which has to be classified based on input, okay, then we call it as unsupervised learning. Simple analogy to understand this is, you go to a college and professor teaches a subject and then you understand it. It is called as supervised. Professor will be knowing the outcome and what are the topics which are covered. Okay, that's the outcome, and how much you have understood is the outcome. Whereas when you talk about unsupervised learning, you take a textbook from the library, go home and do self study. So you are having just the input. Okay, so that's where your clustering comes into picture, where machine automatically or groups the data, okay, naturally based on the input data, is called clustering. In terms of classification, basically it will be having choices like whether it belongs to this category or not. So you'll be having a combination of true or false, or it might be red, green, and blue. As far as regression is concerned, regression basically would be having what is called as the temperature, stock pricing, and so on. To go about it, let us understand clustering, classification, and regression. So imagine you are given three set of cards and you are being asked to classify those cards. How are you going to do that? Okay, you are not told like how exactly. When you turn the card around, it will be having the images of cat, what is called as dog, and a bird. So if you are doing this by your as vegetarian and non-vegetarian, you can classify the data as animals. That means all the three in one set. You can classify the animals as four-legged or two-legged, right? So this is where you are not having the output defined to you. Okay, so that is called as clustering. So all the three things, classified it as animals, classified it as animals with two-legged and three-legged, or classified it in terms of the eating habits, whether they are vegetarian. All the three types where you have classified the data or grouped the data is called as clustering. Okay, so once clustering is understood, so the same data set, okay, you're trying to classify that with the size of the mouth or length of the mouth, or it might be length of the ear. Okay. So if you're able to classify the data on real time, then we call it as classification. So data can be in terms of a dog, cat, whenever you are passing new set of data based on these features is called as classification. Followed by that, as far as regression is concerned, this is how the regression is out there. So whenever you have a data set, it might be a dog, frog, cat, whatever you want to classify it, you can classify that. But observe one thing here. So you are classifying the data, or you are dividing the data based on its numerical value. There is something called as a term in terms of number. So here the data is classified based on some numerical value. So dog, if it is running in this speed, you say that it is dog. If there is an animal running in this speed, you say that it is a cat. If there is an animal which is traveling in the speed, you say that it is a bird. And if the animal is running at somewhere around 75, it is a cheetah. So regression can be done in terms also. So you can see there are numerical values associated to it. So whenever you talk about regression, data. So we talked about supervised as well as unsupervised learning, where you can use regression and clustering to classify the data on real time. To be able to do that is whenever data available with you, okay, so which is called as feature data. When you apply machine learning algorithm, you would be able to draw a line where you can say that this belongs to category 1 and this belongs to category 2, where you can say this is category 1 and this is category 2, where I'm applying different machine learning algorithm to classify the data. So you can use inbuilt apps in machine learning object classification, where you can perform training, where you'll be having a training data. From that, you'll be extracting features from it, create a model out of it, and then when you pass the new set of data, you'll be able to get the classification out of it. So whenever you talk about machine learning workflow, you'll be having training as well as classification performed on it. So this is where you'll be creating training. So I'll be having a lot of data set. From that data set, I'll create a model. And once I pass the new set of image to it, it has to get classified as a hat. So these are the two phases which you generally see in terms of what is called as machine learning. Okay, so machine learning can be in terms of object detection, recognition, classification. Okay, and previously, whenever I was using MATLAB, we used to use feature extraction methods, which have been mentioned here. Like we have something called as brisk. Okay, we have something called as brisk surf. So we have something called as brisk surf, and we have mesh, or these are different features learning algorithm. Followed by that, you have different machine learning algorithm in terms of what is called as surf, which you can use in, and these are different machine learning algorithms which are out there, which you can use in this new set of data. Okay, and when it is being passed through the machine learning algorithm, it has to get automatically classified. Okay, so like this, machine learning algorithms can be used in terms of classification and regression. So what we can do now, for example, you want to classify class, or you want to classify something called as data associated to flowers. Okay, you can load that particular data set like flowers of associated. You plug those flowers, measure the sepal length, and then use the machine learning algorithm, and then classify that particular data on real time. So how do is can just go here and we just close this particular demo, clear everything, come back here. Okay, so I'm inside demos, and what I can do here is out of demos. Anyways, let us go into certain detection, like how exactly you will be able to track a ball. Okay, so what we have in this particular demo, I'll go to the machine learning also. Give me another, now it is 3:40, another 10 more minutes I'll be taking in, so please stay tuned. The agenda was very huge. I'll try to cover up maximum number. So what I'm doing here is I'll be reading what is called as a video, which is API, and I'm trying to capture this ball, or what is called as identify or track that particular ball, and I have pasted what is called as a page here. So once it passes through this particular lane, again that ball has to be tracked, and it has to project the trajectory of that particular ball which is moving out. Okay, if you now, you can see that till this particular point, the ball was tracked. Okay, and you can see the X, Y, and Z values associated to the ball getting tracked on a real-time scenario. So like this, you can build projects, and these kind of projects we would be building during internship. Okay, so this was our in. We had created a segmentation algorithm where we were trying to track what is called as the ball, which belongs, which is yellow colored, and we had mentioned and written that I want to track that and also visualize the trajectory associated to it. That has been mentioned here. Okay, so these are few of the demos which we have in, and I wanted to show optical since there is a time constraint. If you are waiting after the session, I can show you that also. So that was with respect to the ball tracking. What we can go further here is I can just type Fisher table, read table, Fisher dot iris dot. So we discussed about three set of flowers in the presentation, right? So shown you three set of flowers. That is, these flowers are being plucked. The sepal length, sepal width, petal length, and petal width is being measured, and that is being put inside a Excel sheet. That Excel sheet you have loaded in. If you have that Excel sheet, you can load it here also, or UCF website, and you can see here I have the data which has been loaded here. And how do I apply machine learning? Okay, so just go into the app section here in MATLAB, and then I come down to the classify, is to classify what is called as sepal length, sepal width based on the features as flowers of different category, that it belongs to setosa, versicolor, or vaginica. So whenever I feed a new data set, it should be able to do the classification. To do that, I am using an app called as classifier learner app. And what I have to do here is I had already loaded that data, so I just go here and click on workspace. Once I load that particular data, you can see that the data is being loaded here. Once you load the data here in terms of sepal length, sepal width, petal length, and petal width, you can just go and click on what is called as start session. Okay, what it would do right now is in MATLAB, it would open up a window, okay, where you can see that you are able to see the data, that is sepal length, sepal width, petal length, and petal. Once I click on that train button, what happened is it is starting up the what is called as parallel pool, where I'll be applying different machine learning algorithms. Okay, so as a designer or as a student, you need not spend your time in writing those machine learning algorithms. You should be knowing how exactly SVM works, how exactly decision tree works, what is the math behind it. MATLAB, there are already these inbuilt machine learning algorithms which you can use in and then apply those algorithms on real-time scenario. Okay, so it's taking its time. So what are the different features which we have taken is in terms of sepal length, petal length, and petal width. And these flowers belong to three set of flower category, that is your setosa, versicolor, and vaginica. So this data is loaded in, and using machine learning you would be classifying it. So as the, yeah, you can see that it has turned on the parallel pool, right? So I'll be taking the parallel pool, and then using the parallel pool I'll be able to run the algorithm on real time. Okay, so what I'll do right now is into my classifier learner app. You can under decision tree. Okay, here you can go and select different kinds of machine learning algorithm. Say for example, I am using something called as linear SVM, okay, which is your support vector machine. So I can just go and click on support vector machine. Okay, so you can see it is performing the training, testing, and classification. So whatever we just said, where you want your data to be classified. If I just go and click on the confusion matrix here, you can see Setosa getting classified as Setosa, versicolor getting classified as versicolor, Virginica getting classified as Virginica. So as a data scientist, I go here and visualize the result in what is called as confusion matrix to identify whether if I'm using SVM to classify those flowers, whether it would give me correct output or not. I'm repeating it. We first loaded the data set. Once we loaded the data set, we opened classifier learner app. We loaded that data into the classifier learner app. Once you loaded the classifier learner app, it was showing you what is called as this. That is, the predictors are your sepal length, sepal width. What are the classes? I have to classify the data into Setosa, versicolor, and Vagina. Once I want to do, I can just go here and select different kinds of machine learning algorithms, out of which here, and once I select these machine learning algorithms, I have to just go and click on this train option. Once I can go here and apply one more machine learning algorithm and then say train, so it would accuracy. So here we have not applied all the machine learning algorithms. We have just applied three different set of machine learning algorithm, where you can see if I'm using SVM to classify this particular machine learning algorithm on real time, you would be able to classify that data. And how exactly is the performance? If you want to see that, you'll be able to see that in terms of confusion matrix. Setosa getting classified as Setosa, it is 50. Versicolor getting classified as versicolor, it is 46. Versicolor getting classified as Virginica, an error. Okay, and Virginica getting classified as so Virginica getting classified as Virginica, the samples are somewhere around 49. So once this has been done, you can just go here and click on export model. So when I say export model, you can see that if I go to MATLAB window, you can model which you have just created within no time. And let me tell you, this is in MATLAB. Okay. You can, I mean, you don't have apps available in Python. Okay. In Python, we go with the programming. Okay. So you have inbuilt functions like as I showed you, like scikit-learn will be loading that, and from that you will be able to extract features from machine. I mean, where you will be able to classify the flowers. So there, it's a entire different flow. Okay. So this classifier learner app is available from MATLAB 2007, and we'll be also sharing you the source code as well as once the sessions are completed with respect to the day which we cover in. Okay, so it can be used for face recognition, face counting, attendance system. So such kind of applications you can build with no time. Okay, so once this is, just go here. So the classifier learner app with different machine learning algorithms can be used, and you'll be able to get the results. This would also help you in building smart devices. Say, for example, if I want to capture what is called as heartbeat of a person, okay, and based on which I can develop a fitband, or just hold the finger, that's my forefinger, in front of my camera of my mobile phone. It should tell me what is my blood sugar values, cholesterol, to do such kind of things. How to do it? Just stay tuned for another 10 minutes, or you might be using the accelerometer data, gyroscope data, and then you are trying to capture the real time data and measure and perform analysis. So I'll be applying, and then I'll be able to create models out of it. So there is time constraint. I'll just show you how exactly you'll be able to do the signal processing part of it. And during our sessions, we'll be applying machine learning on those signal processing part also. So you have different cameras which are out there where you can see signal processing is everywhere. It might be in terms of computer vision, communication, medical devices, audio systems, consumer electronics, or so on. So the problem statement what I have is we'll be using this particular PPG sensor, okay, which is your pulse of the sensor, okay, and you'll be measuring the change, the volumetric change, forefinger or your finger which you're using it, and whenever there is blood getting pumped, okay, there will be variations in the intensity of the forefinger, okay, and where you can see that the variation can be taken in, and you will be able to measure the heart rate of a person using optical sensor. Now our intention is to do it with camera. How to do that? So what I'll be doing is I'll be taking frames on real time, acquire that particular data. Once I acquire that data, I'll be applying processing algorithm on it. And let me tell you, okay. So initially the complete design flow would be like this, where I'll be acquiring the data, processing that signal, and then I'll be able to deploy on hardware of our choice. So as our agenda pointed out, we can deploy it on Raspberry Pi, BeagleBone Black, ARM platforms, and so on. So how to do that? In MATLAB, there is a product portfolio called as Simulink. You can connect a real-time camera and then you can acquire that data into what is called as MATLAB. So what I'll be doing is I have already an camera which is being connected, okay, and you'll be capturing what is called as real-time video, okay, from what is called as laptop. Where you'll be holding your finger. When you hold the finger in front of the camera, you can see it will be showing you in red, and there will be variations like this, okay. See that there is variation in terms of signal, okay. Whatever questions, whatever in terms of demo version of MATLAB, all those things you have to wait till the end. We have, I mean, I was told like I'd be getting at least 2 hours, but anyways, I'll try to wind up with the things. Whatever questions are there, please be at the end or put it directly in the chat box at the end. I'll be answering each and every question. It's an humble request. So whatever arise in, don't keep it in your mind. Chat box, and at the end, I'll go on answering the questions. Not a issue. So the first thing is I am capturing data and capturing, converting average of it. So how many peaks are there? I'm averaging it. Once I'm done with that, there will be something called as an app, called as filter design analysis toolbox. If you can directly go to the command window of MATLAB, type FDA underscore tool, it will open up, or go to the app section and create a filter. So the heartbeat generally would be somewhere around 40 to 230 beats per minute, and the range in terms of hertz would be in this particular parameter. So I have to extract that using a filter and remove corresponding unwanted noise. So what I'll do is I'll be extracting the band of interest when I'm passing it through a band pass filter. And once I pass it, I'll be able to get this particular feature. Okay, and I have to just count numbers there. Now, basically, to count the, I mean, only these peaks, and to count that particular peaks, I'll be using a command called as peak finder. Okay, what is called as the peak. So you can see here, I'll just use command as peak finder with minimum peak, and the corresponding heart rate would be estimated on real time. Okay, once I'm done with that, I'll be building model. That is, I'll be having one block which is already there in Simulink, and then I'll be simulating it, and then I'll be using a display where I have the heart rate estimation. When I run this particular model, I'll be able to run the model on my laptop. If I have downloaded the driver support package, I can also run it on an Android phone which you are using in. Conditions apply. There is something called as an operating system which has to match in. Okay. So how exactly the demonstration of this model would look like? So let us go and then see how exactly your MATLAB would work. So let me just close the classifier because it would take a lot of memory. Simulink open. Let me just clear everything. CLC. Taking its time. I have signal processing. I have the demos here, which is my webcam. That's my webcam. SLX, right? So whenever I'm capturing my video, so you can see that it's opening up the webcam. Okay, I'll just show you the video also. So you can see here, I am just loading this. I'll be just holding this on my camera. Okay, so this is how it should be looking in. And to most, this is my webcam. Then select that. I've already selected my webcam. I can say preview, and let me just close this, and just close this here, and let me just keep the window and run the model here. I think I have to load the there. Give me 1 sec. Okay, it's let me just clear. Just change that. Right. Okay. Initializing, and I have my camera where you can see it is capturing. You can see this is my camera which I have here, and I'm holding my forefinger. So you can see that it is capturing my data on real time. So you can see my heartbeat. It's varying in terms of from 50 to 60, and then it is again varying from 64, 68, and so on. Okay. Like this, I'll be able to run my application on real time. Stop this. Okay. So you can see this is the we were able to capture. Okay, so this is the peak. Okay, where if you stop your breath, you can see that there is no heart pumping which happens in, and here it is capturing the real time what is called as heart rate. Okay, there is a written and the same function to read what is called as your real time heartbeat. It can be FPGA also, or on your what is called as external device like mobile phones also. In the same model, you have to make some changes where you have to use the Android block replaced by that in block. And this is the heartbeat of mine. It is somewhere around 61.29, and hence I'm alive, right? So you'll be able to build applications like this where you did not write any code. There are these similar blocks which you can take, and you can be able to do that and build real-time applications from it. This also brings us to the concept of deep learning. Deep learning basically is a type of machine learning where model learns to perform or extract features by itself. Okay, so it's a type of machine learning where model learns to perform classification, okay, task directly from image, text, or sound, whatever you load in. Okay, so as far as deep learning is concerned, it basically deals with neural network. The term deep basically the number of layers. Okay, so inside a convolutional neural network is this is how the layer of a CNN would look like. So just remember, we'll be talking about all this, how exactly this layer is working, what is RULU layer, okay, what are the different filtering methods, what is max pooling, all those things we'll be covering in. And we'll also cover in terms of how exactly fully connected layers are out there. So instead of you designing this, there are people like Dr. Alex who have already designed these convolutional neural networks. we'll just have to call these convolutional neural network in our programs, or there are softwares like Keras, TensorFlow, and MATLAB, which we'll be using it, and then we'll be checking how exactly your images are getting extracted or the features are extracted and then getting classified, whether it's a cake, dog, or if there are new data, how exactly you're going to create a transfer learning for it. So as far as convolutional neural network is concerned, you can see that this is how LXNet. Now in LXNet was designed by LXNet, and this was designed in 2012. So it was trained for a week and it was trained for millions of, and it was on thousands of categories. So whenever you pass an image through this particular network, it will be able to classify that it is a bakery or image or so on. Okay. So as far as convolution neural network is concerned, this is how the deep learning flow would go further. So you would be having something called as pre-trained network, where you can design it. You can design it by writing a code. You can use apps where you can design your network, train the model, optimize it. Okay, and then you can do model exchanging in terms of PyTorch, TensorFlow, Keras, Cafe model. So these kind of things can be done in, and we'll also with integration part also. Okay, so as far as deep learning is concerned, with just 4 lines of code here. So if I just write net is equal to LXNet, which we just discussed, which was 2012. So it can be used for image classification also. The simple example is Alexa, right? So I'll be using a command called as net is equal to LXNet, and then I have the command called as I is equal to imread peacock.jpg. Once I read the image, what I can do is I can use a command called as imresize, and LXNet, whenever it was trained, the image file format was maintained was 227 cross 227. So that's the reason we resize the image, and once you resize the image is stored inside the variable called as I1 now. First you load the network, read the image, resize the image, save it inside a variable, and then use a command called as classify and pass that image through what is called as the network. So the network which we loaded was LXNet, and hence your image gets classified as a image of a peacock. So this can be used in variety of application, like it might be designing what is called as RCNN, where there is back propagation coming into picture. Google has its own say Google Enet, or we also have TensorFlow, which was rolled out. Okay, we also can use it for text data, deep speech recognition. So few of the examples also which were pointed out would be covered in. So whenever you pass an image through a convolutional neural network, the image would be able to identify like this. So you can see at each epoch, the computer would be able to identify images in this particular format. Okay, and hence you will be able to get the corresponding results. So as far as images are concerned, when you look into this image here, can you tell me which is this image? Generally, would say it is a fox, but whenever pass image, it would outperform what is called as humans, and it would say it is an Arctic fox. Okay, at epoch number 5. So it passes the image through the network, and when it is passing through the network, it would say it is what is called as an Arctic fox. If I go to the next image set here, people would say it's a penguin, or people would say it's a ostrich, right? Basically, when you see the image or multiple images like this and pass it through what is called as your LXNet, it would identify that it is a flamingo on real time. So such kind of projects would be covered in, and we'd also cover something called as transfer learning. So LXNet was trained on somewhere around 1,000 images, and you have new set of images where you can obviously create your own network, where you can have your own training data, load those particular images, and then you will be able to create that using just 1 line of code called as train network net data and options, or which have been stored in terms of a variable. So how to is basically using what is called as MATLAB. we'll be able to do that, where you can see that this is how exactly the convolutional neural network would look like. So I'll not spend my time in explaining all this concept. So since you'll be there with us for 45 days, uh, I'll be assuming that I'll be able to explain this each and every layer one by one. Okay, and then we'll be able to work on this particular network. Okay, and as far as transfer learning is concerned, you can see here I have a Lego strong robo where I just give a cube, okay, which is your Rolex cube, and I just give it to that particular robo, and it's basically a computer vision based approach where it will do the feature extraction as well as you will be able to solve the Rubik cube within no time. You can see there is a camera and you can see it has read the data and now it will start solving the cube. So you can go further here and you can see here it is being able to solve the Rubik cube in no time, and see the learning can be installed in robotics area also. Okay, I'm just forwarding it and you can see it will completely without any human interference to solve the Rubik cube within no time. Okay, so imagine a human to solve it, and it has taken somewhere around 2 minutes to solve the complete Rubik cube. Okay, and you can again optimize it based on your algorithm. Okay, so whenever you look into using the pre-trained network, spending and developing a LXNet or a VGGNet, GoogleNet. So there are research scholars who have already built these networks. You can leverage their research and then focus on what kind of data you want to classify it, and you can use it for signature classification, automatic bleeding inside a stomach. Uh, See, these are the projects which we created it for one of our clients who are doing their research. When I was previously working in my previous company, we have used Inception ResNet 50 for cancer cell and lung detection. Okay, so such kind of which have been pre-trained, and I can just load that network by just one line of code. Then how exactly is transfer learning performed, right? So one method is you'll be doing deep neural network or developing a network in your name like pramod.net, doing it from scratch where it's very complex. Instead of that, you'd be doing or performing something called as transfer learning, where already there is a network which is out there, and you'll be able to do what is called as transfer learning by just going and changing one layer in the network. So to do the transfer learning, basically you'll be requiring images of somewhere around hundreds of thousands of images. You'll be able to do that with normal computation. And if you are using something called as doing it from scratch, where you will be requiring thousands of millions of images. Okay, so how to do that and how exactly it's to be done, I mean, you'll be able to do that. We'll be just checking it. So let me just minimize this also. Let me just close this. I don't want to save that. Let me just come to transfer learning. Give me one sec. Called as transfer learning here. That's okay. So you can see here, I have a folder which is out there. Okay, so your lead image final data set, you can see here, this is the folder where I have images of van, truck, SUV and car. Okay, I'll be using this, and then instead of using LXNet, I'm trying to create my own network. So how to do that? It's basically using what is called as transfer learning. So I'll go in back inside that particular folder. Okay, and let me just clear, and I'll do is let me just go here and open up what is called as, let me see, web classification. Yeah, so you can see here, now this is deep learning. Okay, where I can just come here and then type webcam list. You can see there are two cameras connected here, and I have a real-time image which is being captured. I'm using a while loop. Whatever image is captured, you pass it through LXNet and then classify that in terms of a real-time video. So just run this. You can see that it's capturing. It's computer keypad. I can show the amount. Can just show a mobile or a curtain, right? So I can just go on showing my phone there, right? So like that, I'll be able to build time applications using what is called as Alexa. This or was remove the USB. Now let me just close this with debugging. That was with respect to LXNet. Okay, so where you were LXNet and then capture the real-time image and then use a camera to classify different objects. Okay, so the same thing can be applied for transfer learning. So you want to classify signature, whether it's a malignant image or whatever kind of image you want to classify, you can do on real time. Okay, so it's taking with time. Okay, let me just come here. No. Okay. So like that will be able to create what is called as transfer learning. In transfer learning, what we do is the same network, whatever LXNet is there, you'll be loading that particular network on real time. Okay, so the network would be having somewhere around 25 layers. In that 25 layer, especially LXNet, you'll be changing the last layer, that's your fully connected layer, and replace that layer with your new layer. Okay, and once you replace that with your new layer, you'll be able to perform what is called as transfer learning by performing training, and you'll be able to get the result. So as far as transfer learning is concerned, first you load once you load the LXNet, what you do is you'll be replacing the final layer, okay, and that would be your network. Once you have your network, you pass those images through what is called as the training options. Once you pass those particular image through the training options, you will be able to classify the image through what is called as trained network. And once you are passing the new set of image, it would be able to identify that whether it is a boat, mug, hat, or so on. Okay. So as far as called as the food classification is concerned, like in terms of identifying the food, you'll be able to do that. So you can see here, whatever mat file you have created in, you'll be able to place the different types of food data. Like you'll be having a real-time camera which will generally take in and then place the food data on the table, and then you just pass that particular data and observe here. This you are able to do with just what is called as the mat file. So whatever LXNet you had created into the real-time data or transfer learning, whatever you have performed, you can see that with this particular set of code, you'll be able to classify that it is a French fries or perform transfer learning and so on, and you will be able to do the classification. Okay. The training, basically food network, basically you had used these lines of code where you'll be loading the data, you'll be performing pre-training on that. That is, whatever pre-trained network is there, you'll be loading that. You'll be using the command called as net.layers. You'll be replacing the 23rd layer that, you'll be using what is called as train.org, where you'll be able to perform the classification or perform transfer learning. So this can be with cafe model also, where you can see you are able to do it with the what is called as transfer learning. Be deployed on what is called as pedestrian detection, and we are able to put this on a Raspberry Pi. So you can see these number of lines of code we write it, and then we'll be able to deploy that corresponding algorithm where it is identifying the pedestrian. There is a camera, and that camera is able to identify what is called as real-time data, where it is identifying the pedestrians on real time. So basically, you can use computer vision and Raspberry Pi to develop these algorithms, and R Neon platforms also can be used in where you'll be able to deploy these algorithms on real time. It can also be in what is called as ADAS. Okay, so let me just check at least by now. No, it's hanged up. Just close this, and I'll show you the transfer learning. Not a worry. So let me just close this. The system got hanged because I just directly moved my camera because I wanted certain things. No issues. Let me just open up MATLAB once again and come back to the presentation here. So it is also used in something called as self-driving cars also, which stands for Advanced Driving Assistance System, self-driving systems, where systems play a vital role, where you can see there is a video which I want everyone to check that. Because of the time constraint, I'll not be able to show that. Just go to YouTube and then type Volvo, and where you are would be able to automatically identify on a lane, and such kind of applications and algorithms can be developed in no time, where it will be able to capture the real-time data from sensors and so on, and it will be able to capture real-time data and then process the data and visualize the data in real time and take decisions. So you can see that it is able to identify and identify the technologies in terms of real time, and then sense the data and also drive on real time scenario. So how an mechanical engineer would be able to develop applications like this? We'll be just checking it in a while. So this brings us how exactly the autonomous vehicle work. So the first thing is there will be camera. Once you have the camera, it will be creating a perceiving algorithm which we created in terms of segmentation, and it will also annotate people like whether the people are standing or moving. Okay, and based on develop algorithm detection of guiding and planning it, and it will be acting on the scenario. Such kind of algorithms where we'll be able to develop autonomous vehicles on real-time synergy can be developed. So let us going into our students' projects. Let us see. Yeah, now I hope it has opened up. Okay, so I hope I'll take another 15 minutes. So I hope people are okay with it. Please bear with me. I had prepared a content for 2 hours and I'm being asked to show it in less time, so can't help it out. No worries. So here, what we are doing, we are loading image data set. I've already shown you the particular folder. You can see here. This is where the image is in. The image file format is called as image data set. So this is where you're performing transfer learning. Okay. So I can just open that. You can see there is this image. So whenever you are performing what is called as transfer learning, or it might be any kind of network, you will be storing, or you're able to create a database like this. Okay, so once you have created the database, you can see I've given double dot here, which indicates it is 2 folders back. And once I have loaded that, I split that particular data and visualize that data, or in terms of images, what does my data consist of? So let me just run this. Basically, what we just loaded was those images, and I have used a command It's storing inside a variable and it's reading the image with the file names. So previously you used to label those images, like you have to create a bounding box, like how face recognition you did it. You have to capture an image and then create a bounding box and then save it. Now that content thing is not here. Just use the image data store and then use the label source and then count number of images. So for transfer learning, you can see hardly somewhere around thousands of images. But if it is uh, doing machine or developing deep learning from scratch, you will be requiring large set of data. Once I've done with that, what I'll do is I'll be visualizing a random images from whatever data set I have, and it has to display the names associated to it. So you can see it is displaying SUV, car, van, truck, and so on. Once this is, I'll be providing that data, and you can see I'm loading the network, the same network, Alexa or AlexNet. I'll be loading it, and I want to see the layers inside that. Okay, so I'm using just 2 lines of code, and let me just run that. And when I run that, you can see that it is creating a network. Now it has created a network. So you can see that it has created a network that is net here. Okay, and you can see the layers also, like the layers out there is, this is the convolutional layer. So you can see, as I started off with my demo of a video of deep neural network, I said AlexNet was trained with how many classes, like it might have been used of image of a peacock, fish, frog, so like that 1,000 classes. But in our case, we have just five. Which are those five? It is truck, SUV, car, and so on. So what I'll be doing here is just going and changing this 24th and 25th layer. Okay, and I'll be creating network. Okay, how to do that? We are just checking that, and just doing just 2 lines of code. You can see what are the classes inside that, or you want to see. AlexNet was trained on images of volcano, wallpaper, broom, toilet tissue, or it might be cup. Okay, so like that, these are the different images which were taken and it was created. Now to alter that network, what I have to do? To alter that network, I'm just using 2 lines of code here. Okay, and then training it. So if I run that, you can see now previously this FC8 had how many classes? It had 1,000. Now it has how many? 5. Which are those 5? Whatever images I just showed you, like car, truck, SUV. So it is there. So this is your own network now. So once I have that particular network, you'll be able to perform training and you'll be able to do the accuracy and results on real time. So let me just show you the epoch here, and I'll say that the number of epochs as somewhere around 5, and let me keep the accuracy, like I'm given it as 99.5. I'll reduce it to some 85 because I do want it to take more time. So I have reduced that particular accuracy time, and let me just run this algorithm. Now you can see that it has started the training process where it will perform the normalization and it will start giving me the result. So whatever new data set is there, you can see that it is elapsing the time and it has started the training. So it has to reach an accuracy of somewhere around 85%. Once that has been done, I'll save that model. Okay, you're getting it. So this is where I'm using the same images and it is performing what is called as machine learning, and it will get saved. Okay, so these whatever examples we have, it is for one day, which I'm just covering it very fast. Okay, so since what examples we cover in the standard of the session of your internship is going to be that you have to be very clear. So that's the reason we will be covering this, where you'll be able to get the software, the trial version with the latest version, how to get it, all those things will be. So need not worry about all those aspects, but what kind of examples we cover and what is the standard of the internship, we just wanted to show you that. So that's the reason we have taken up these examples. And in the meanwhile, since the examples are, I mean, the training is going on, let me just cover up the slides also. So here you can see we had used the platforms like NVIDIA, where you are able to identify the emotions, where you can see whenever you're happy, neutral, it is able to identify that on real time. And you can see that the real time attendance system, where it is able to identify the face with their names, such kind of models Okay, and we have Jetson Nano and Pink and Raspberry Pi platforms to be used deployment part. Okay, going further with questions, you can code Android phone. One example which I just showed you. So you can use that sensor data and then capture that data and your heartbeat and so on. Such kind of algorithms will be creating them. So as far as GPUs are concerned, we'll be reducing the time. And as far as job roles are concerned, as an artificial intelligence expert, so these are areas where you can focus on, like air traffic light control, image recognition, sentiment analysis, virtual personal assistant, product recommendation, and as far as job markets are concerned, you can take it in terms of robotics, AI, ML. So multidisciplinary, you are from mechanical, EC, electrical, computer science. You can take up job roles in this particular area. And if you look into the AI research, data scientists, these are few of the job roles. I was just checking out with the portfolio. So this is the average job role of a AI research data scientist. So whenever you finish your PhD, you can just apply to these job roles. Where to apply that, I'll show you that also. You can work on your free time, not as a say 5 to 6. Just take up these areas as a AI research scientist, AI engineer, machine learning, or AI architect. You can take up projects and then you execute those projects, and company would be welcoming you with red carpet. So these are the average salary. If you are planning to go for a full-time job role, you'll be able to take the average job role here, as well as in terms of market analysis, as MATLAB, Simulink, or Python. These are the job openings which are out there. Okay, so in terms of model based design, so this is today's job results which are just checking in. As far as Python is concerned, you can see here, as far as data scientist, currently I'm talking only in Bangalore. This is the job availability, and these are the links which with respect to the 2020, like Hitachi, where you can work as a big data scientist or a solution architect. And in terms of Flipkart, these are few of the areas. Okay, and the summary, before going into the summary, let me just switch back to MATLAB here and just show the graph where it has reached the training here. Give me one sec. Performing the training, now it has reached an accuracy of somewhere around 85. Still the iteration is going on. Okay, and hence you are able to create what is called as transfer learning. It is in the third epoch. We had reduced the epoch to 5, so let the epoch go up to 5, and once the epoch is performed, you'll be able to get the corresponding result. So this is how your would vary from time to time, and depending upon your CPU, GPU, whatever you have it. Okay. Examples which I just wanted to show you, but I hope since there is, we'll be doing, go to the training is being finished. So let me just answer one by one questions here, right? So the first question what I have is, app is it built in MATLAB? Yes, it comes up once you purchase MATLAB. You are having a trial version of MATLAB. The only requirement is the data set, whatever examples we create in, and the data set which you are working with. You have to pre-process the data. There are different table forming methods and cell kind of methods, like data pre-processing in terms of missing data. So all those data, once it is being created, you'll be able to get that. And then deep neural network app which I just showed you, those neural network app is there, but we have also created a trainer app also. So in terms of Shrisha V, I hope the classifier learner app, it's available from 2018 B. Okay, so 2018 B, okay, and all algorithms 17 to 18, like PCA and all is not available in 17, so it's ideal that you start using with 18B. Okay. Do you need MATLAB? Yes, we will be working with Python also. Okay, so Python need not be installed. We'll give you the direct link of Python, like how to access that. Whenever we go into the session, we'll be talking about that, and the accessing of the session would be based on your email ID. So you have to create an account, and once you create, you'll be able to work with that. So, Alshika K. Casey, heartbeat measure algorithm is very. You can just send us a mail, or basically what we are doing is uh, we capture the real-time data from our camera, and then once you capture that, the forefinger, there will be pressure on a forefinger when there is blood which is getting pumped. So what we do is there will be changes in the edge. We are converting the edges, measuring the edges and measure the diameter. And whenever there is high peak, we use the DWT based application and capture the peaks. Okay, and then apply filtering on it because I want a specific bandwidth of signal. Okay, so image is getting converted into signal and then taking the mean. You're capturing the real-time signal, and then you'll be able to measure the peaks using the peak finder algorithm. If Risha Casey is listening to me, and using those peaks, your heartbeat is being measured. Okay, so you can do it with PHP sensor or on a hardware or your mobile phone also. Okay, the entire algorithm we'll be doing that in our session. You can just attend that or drop us a mail, which I'll be sharing at the end. Okay. Basics. So those who have attended our uh, AI sessions of 5D, I think the Param had already displayed the feedback. Okay, so uh, how to access Google main one will give you access. Okay, and once you attend the session, we'll give you those details also. Need not worry much on the access part and the content part. Okay, is it possible to recorded content? Yeah, we'll be posting this. Admin will be posting this into one of the website which Param was mentioning in. You can pay the prerequisite amount there, and then you'll be able to download that particular content and the PPT or whatever trainings what we do. And because we are charging nominal here, you can keep the content for lifetime and we'll be loading it. Jaya Lakshmi ma'am, I think really you can just we can have that. And see, I just used a normal camera. Kirti Priya, I just use a normal camera to measure the heartbeat. Things which you can do. Yeah, we'll be possibly sharing you the content. The recorded screen will be shared, and it would be, I mean, you pay the requisite fees for the PPT as well as the videos, whatever we record in. I think we have a channel partner called as Viruk, and Param had already displayed you content logo from where you'll be able to download that. Pay the requested fee, and you'll be able to download that. Okay, so there's no issue in downloading whatever people and whatever demos we do, the sessions can be downloaded. But as far as internship is concerned, the source code of the internship, whatever demos we do, if you are able to see my screen, you can see that we will be giving you contents like this. Okay, so day wise we'll be having the content which will be shared with you, like you can see I showed you a demo of a camera capturing the real-time image. So what is the source code and the explanation of that would be prerequisite. If you're comfortable with programming, that's only is my requirement. We'll be doing it from scratch because we have 40, and whatever demo I just showed you, you can see here we'll be starting it from basics, and we'll be talking about machine learning algorithms, assembler level, all those things from scratch, and we'll be able to do that during our 45 days of our internship. Yeah, for the PPT, we will be having a separate session portal where you will be able to get that access once you pay that prerequisite amount, Shushir. Okay.
Yeah.
So,
Thanks, Pramod.
yeah.
Thanks, Pramod. I think most of the people are asking about the PPT and recorded session. See, for the people who are going to attend the internship program, definitely you will get it. There's no issue in that. And one more thing I just wanted to tell you, this 45 days internship program, what we are going to start from 9th of June. So it is actually a 45 days. In that, every week you will have a 4 hours of classes, plus 1 hour will be dedicated to your projects, whatever has been assigned, to review those projects. And in a week, you will have 2 days of classes, 2 hours each. That means in a day, you will have completely four hours of class.
In a week, in a week.
Yeah, Pramod?
In a week, right? 4 hours.
In a week, 4 hours, and 1 hour will be for your project overview. The 45 days link will be shared with you. Uh, uh, you can just fill up the feedback form. In that, you can mention all the details. So we will share you the link for the registering of 45 days program. Any other queries, you can put it in the chat box, or you can unmute and speak now. There is a chance to speak now. If anyone wants to ask any queries, they can speak. The batch timing will be communicated. It will be in the evening 5 to 7 or 7 to 9. Batch timing, I am just repeating, 5 to 7 or 7 to 9. So it will be communicated all the registered participants. Thanks, Vijayalakshmi. Any other queries? If anyone has any queries, they can ask now. They can unmute and speak. Like whoever registered participants have attended this program, you'll be getting an email soon with the detailed agenda as well as the timings.
Yeah, Param, we'll post the timings once it is decided and the exact time.
And regarding the certificate, we have clearly mentioned there is no certificate will be issued for this program. In the email, we have clearly communicated, and in the form also we are told that there is no certificate for this session because it is just a preview session of the whatever the 45 days program we are conducting. Any other queries? So the link will be shared in your email. I request participants to fill the feedback form. That will help us to improve it. And if you have any of your friends or if you have any of your students who is interested in the internship, I request faculties to forward them that email about the internship. And if any of your friends wants to join the students, you can refer your students. We'll be ending the session in another 1 minute. I request participants, if you have any queries, please put it across. Thanks, Vinita. And these 30 hours of classes, whatever is going to be for this internship program, you will learn a lot of things related to machine learning, artificial intelligence, and then the hardware implementation part, like whatever has been showed by Pramod, like Pink. Pink is a FPGA, which can be used for machine learning applications. And there is a one more hardware from NVIDIA Jetson Nano, that can also be used for your deep learning and machine learning applications. And there is one more hardware from Google Cora. So we'll be showing you all those demos in that internship while doing the internship program. And we have a few more projects coming in. So you will be given a assignment with respect to those projects. Any other queries from the participants? I'm I'm sharing you the feedback link once again. I request you to kindly fill the feedback. That will help us. And if someone is interested, they can get in touch with us. You can send an email at info@agimus or krn@applyvolt. It is there in the chat box. And also, if you need any information, you can visit our website, agimustech.com and applyvolt.com. I'll be ending the session in 30 seconds. And I just wanted to show this contact details. If someone wants to save our contact details, kindly save participants to note down the contact details. This might help you in future. Any other queries? So I'm going to end the session. I thank you all the participants who has given us the opportunity to conduct this session. Okay. Thanks, Pramod, and thanks, Ramesh, for your.
Thank you, Param. Yeah.
Thanks all the participants, and thanks Param. Thanks Pramod.
Yeah. Thank you. Bye.
Thank you, Ramesh. Bye.
Thank you all the participants. I am ending the session. I request participants to note the feedback form, because once I end the session, the feedback link will not be there. I request participants to click on the feedback link before I end the session.